Good news. It's 2020. We need all the good news we can get. We have led the country over a 10-year period of the American Football Coaches Association Good Works team. It is an amazing thing to accomplish, to be a part of. We got a lot of folks, including our own Coach Boyette. Where is he at? He was our first one, huh? Here when we were here? Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, the good news I'm going to share, our 9th one is amongst us. Rock Chambers!
I appreciate all you guys. Good works. Never go unnoticed. Do everything you can to better the world and better everyone else around you.
For the 9th time in the last 10 years, a Duke football player has been named to the All-State AFCA Good Works team, which annually recognizes 22 student athletes from across the country for their leadership in the community and their commitment to giving back. Hello everyone and welcome inside the Blue Devil Tower. I'm Rebecca Fiorentino and this is Duke All Access with head coach David Cutcliffe. This year's Good Works honoree is senior offensive lineman Rock Chambers. He's been active here in the Durham community, volunteering with Habitat for Humanity and tutoring young children. And back at home in Alabama, he's a frequent volunteer at his local food bank. His outreach efforts mirror the spirit of service found right here in the Blue Devil program.
The East Alabama Food Bank, they had run short on volunteers because Auburn University usually feeds into the food bank and they get a ton of volunteers. But during the pandemic, students are back home, so I took it upon myself to go out and just volunteer my time at the food bank and try to make as big a difference as I can. During the pandemic, problems are almost magnified and multiplied for some people, and you have to take it to heart that you have to go out and try to help everyone that you can and try to make everywhere that you go a better place.
I think the AFCA Good Works team and the focus of community involvement for young athletes and particularly football players in our case is one of the most important things that we do. Football is filled with life lessons, and that's real. It's real for all of us that are involved in the game to be mentors and teach people community responsibility. And right now across our entire country, you see the need for community involvement and communities to be together. I could not be more proud of our players through the years and their participation in the community. We've had a lot of AFCA Good Works team members, but I think our entire program and our entire team has taken an approach to be involved with the community, and Duke football is really proud of that. Rock Chambers is one of the brightest, best young people I know. He cares a lot about his teammates. He cares a lot about his community at home, great family. But Rock is a guy that's going to get out there. He's going to go toward being a doctor. Medicine is in his future. And I think Rock realizes that that's all about service. And if there's ever been a servant leader on our team, Rock Chambers fits that role.
Chambers has been a regular contributor to the Duke offensive line since his true freshman season, with well over 2,000 career snaps. But there's something else about Rock that you may not know. To him, timing means everything.
Myself as a person, I have this weird affliction with time where I have an angst about being on time everywhere I'm going, and so I carried that with me from high school and on. And so my sister, when I went off to college, she got me my first clock, and it was a little cheap clock, but she kept buying me clock after clock after clock after clock. And at this point, it's like, what do I do with all these clocks? So I decided, I was looking on Instagram one day, and I think I saw someone had a clock wall, and so I decided to imitate that, and I created my own clock wall. But over time, all those clocks, they accumulate, and there's this ticking noise that's going on, tick, 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 and that's really annoying. So I decided I'm just gonna turn them all off and not allow them to work, take out the batteries, But I had this idea to set them all to a specific date that would be important to me. That way, anytime I looked at the wall, it wasn't just a wall of clocks, it was a wall of dates that were important to me that I could always look to, and for inspiration if I was feeling sad, or just remember those dates and all the events that happened on those dates, and that would make me feel better. So one of the dates I have is 5/24, that's my birthday, so that's a really important date. I also have June 6th, the day I came to Duke. That was a really important day for me, first day I came here. And then I also have my mother's birthday, 9/9. She's a really important part of my life, and I absolutely love her. I have, I think, about 39 clocks now, and hopefully that collection continues to grow. Only one clock is still ticking, and that was the first clock she ever gave me. And I use that clock as inspiration to keep moving forward. And time is your enemy in life, and just never let it run out on you. Live your life to the fullest.
Duke All Access is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better. By Continental Tire, for what you do. And by Gatorade, win from within.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Nearly 150 years of experience goes into making each and every Continental Tire. So you can trust with total confidence that our tires will deliver superior performance, no matter where the road takes you. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Today tastes like a home game, like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat, and like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
Only your Steel dealer has the legendary tools to take on your to-do list. Real Steel. Find yours. For the space you've always wanted. Pick up the lightweight FS38 trimmer or the hard-working BG50 blower. Only $139.95. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
So great to have you with us. ACC game number 2, and off we go in the home opener.
As with nearly every facet of life, the coronavirus pandemic of 2020 has had a profound impact in college athletics. Administrators, coaches, support staff, and student athletes have all had to make major adjustments to their daily routine and behaviors in order to get back out on the field this fall after 4 months of quarantine. To create a healthy environment, Duke University developed a series of standards and protocols guiding activity and interaction across campus. When it comes to athletics, however, the operational logistics and details are even more extensive, but it's all in an effort to keep student athletes safe in order for them to continue their sports passions.
I know when we went home in March, really late March, it started right away with our coaches calling and saying, hey, I spoke to our captains, I spoke to our student athletes. We will literally do anything to get back here. We just want to be back together as a family, as a team. And so that was our mission, and that was kind of our driving force. Without having a mission statement per se, That's what we just thought about, is let's get them back, let's create an environment that's safe, and let's let them be together. That's what they want. And so every day we kind of try to think about that. We had to focus on creating that environment every day, and it's not something that you can do 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. It needs to be a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week process, and that's really how we try to approach it, because if we don't, the first moment we open the door, the virus is in, and then it can start to spread, and it's even harder to control once it's got its foot in the door.
Our main safety protocols involved making the time where we're most close together be practice or training sessions in the weight room or on the practice field. Everything else we do, we want to make sure that we're maintaining 6 feet from each other. We went through the Yo Center in early July, late June, and looked at every space to see the square footage, how we could conduct a meeting in it, keep people in masks but also distanced, and how many people we could fit in the room. Initially we were doing meetings over Discord, virtually, to where we'd have a team meeting where everybody would be able to look at their screen and see the same film. We moved from that to doing meetings in the Pascal Fieldhouse now, where we have a great projector that we can shoot a video on a wall and keep everybody distanced and safe. But we had to arrive at that point, and we didn't just decide that, okay, this is how we're going to do things, and not then evaluate and make sure that it's something that gives us what we need and gives our players, a sense of normalcy, a sense of preparation that they need to play the game.
We had to start with building a plan from scratch, no real playbook to follow at this point. So, sitting down with our coaches, our administrators, campus entities, our medical team, Dr. Wolf on campus and others, really to create and define a basic playbook. And we knew as part of that playbook that we had to focus on the ability to be flexible and nimble at all turns, basically as we experience each situation. Just look at testing alone. We're testing over 350 student athletes daily right now, and they have schedules, they have academic rigors they have to meet, and so that requires us to go to them each and every day, 7 days a week, to make sure that they get tested.
To be honest, as in operations, you try to be really good at puzzles. So this has been a really, really interesting puzzle to try to solve. Sometimes the shapes of the pieces have changed to kind of keep that analogy going, but it's been challenging, but you have to view that as an opportunity, because the scenarios aren't gonna change for a while. So we know that we're just have to be flexible and do what we can to keep moving.
We have a term around here, we say it's 2020. If anybody complains about any kind of change or adjustment, we just look at them and say it's 2020. And 2020 would not have been possible for us to field a team without Bob Wiseman and Becca Willis and Matt Hessman, that entire team, and I don't want to leave any of them out, but they've been charged with athletics of running this entire protocol, all of the testing protocol, and then in-house you come in here with Kevin Lehman and Zach Pidgeon, and everybody in our department have been doing jobs that aren't in their job description. I am blown away by the teamwork that's involved in this. And then certainly Dr. White, his leadership, he has been a warrior. I don't know that people understand what he's had to do to keep this moving forward, and it's very emotional. If I start talking about these people and this circumstance for very long, I get really emotional. I'm so appreciative and will forever be in debt to all of these people for the rest of my life, for them and what they've brought to work every single day.
I think if you talk, and at least I've heard from talking to our student athletes, this is where they want to be. They're doing what they love to do, and they're getting an opportunity to do something that a lot of other people aren't getting an opportunity to do. And for them, that opportunity comes with meeting some expectations. So is it hard sometimes getting, practicing these mitigation efforts and not seeing everybody you want to see and having those previous social interactions that you did? Yes, but does it give them the opportunity to play their sport and be safe and go to class? Yes, it does. So when you combine all of that, they're happy.
I definitely believe that Duke has done the research and put us in the best possible situation with the information given. This virus is very serious. people need to take it seriously, wear your mask and social distance, but I feel like I'm safe here because they've done such a great job so far.
Each team as a whole has really bonded together to say this is, kind of our little bubble inside this bigger Duke bubble, and we're going to commit to making it as safe an environment possible, not just for us, but those who are supporting us. So all in all, been quite impressive and quite satisfying to see how they've reacted and really to make it their own mission to keep playing.
Even though we can't have everyone gathered, we found new ways to make each occasion special. We're keeping your gifting experience both safe and personal through Reeds.com, answering all your questions and guiding you to the perfect present, just like we have for over 70 years. Family always finds a way to celebrate life's moments together, no matter what. You won't just shop with confidence at Reeds Jewelers and Reeds.com. You'll feel like family.
It's bow time.
Dad, we're hungry.
Yep, to the grill. No.
Out of gas on game day? Drop a big bow box on it. Game on. Feed a family of 4 with 8 pieces of scratch-made chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea.
It's bow time.
It's Ford Truck Month, and if this is your kind of day, and this is your kind of truck, then this is your month. Ford Truck Month. Now, get great deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 43 years.
Now, during Ford Truck Month, get a 2020 F-150 with $11,000 in total savings, only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Let's talk about math. Fuel points math. For every dollar you spend at Harris Teeter, you get a fuel point. 100 fuel points equals 10 cents off per gallon. 200 fuel points equals 20 cents off per gallon. 1,000 fuel points equals $1 off per gallon on quality fuel. And if you're shopping at Harris Teeter with your Vic card, your fuel points are already adding up. Check the bottom of your receipt. Harris Teeter Fuel Points, an easy way to save on fuel.
See harristeeter.com for details.
Duke 360, presented by Continental Tire, for what you do.
The Duke defense has come away with a whopping 9 sacks through the first 2 games of the season. That number is even more impressive when you consider that they've seen the top 2 offensive line units at least ranked in the way they were preseason in Notre Dame and Boston College. So a lot of talent, but they've still been able to be productive. That number of 9 is good for 3rd best in the ACC. David Hale, an ESPN reporter, reports that the Blue Devil defense has put pressure on opposing quarterbacks on just under half of the drop back passes that they've seen this season so far. Really impressive job of creating havoc for opposing passers. 6 of the Blue Devils' 9 sacks have come without having to blitz players, so that shows the productivity along the defensive line for Duke as well. A big reason for their success, and someone who's accounted for 3.5 of those 9 sacks so far, is senior defensive lineman Victor Dimukeji. 6'3", 265 pounds of pure aggression toward opposing passers. Here he is right here lined up over the left tackle. 3.5 sacks, those all come against Boston College. Watch the explosiveness up the field, first of all, but then the finesse to work his way to the quarterback. He shows his chest here to the offensive lineman, giving the indication that the lineman can punch and try to get his hands on him. As soon as the lineman flashes his hands here, watch the swipe move. Right there, quick, jumps to the outside and keeps working, showing the flexibility and athleticism to get around the big fella at left tackle and hit the quarterback. It's a bad position to be in as an offensive lineman right there with your head down, looking at the ground, because that allows the defensive lineman to get you off balance and get around you. Victor Dimukeji does that perfectly with the swipe, keeps working upfield for the sack and cause fumble. Unfortunately, the Blue Devils weren't able to come up with that one. Here he is working on the other side against the right tackle this time. Same get off, really explosive off the line of scrimmage, and you'll see the same swipe move. He gets his hands involved quickly. It's hand-to-hand combat along the line of scrimmage. Right tackle tries to replace, but then you see the rip of the inside arm, his right arm here, getting up underneath the pads and around the hands of the right tackle as he pursues the quarterback and almost rips the ball right out of his hands. Really nice work in pass rushing for Victor Dimukeji. That's part of the reason he's been so productive. But then there are also situations where you see Dimukeji make an impact in the game without it showing up on the stat sheet. And here's one of those. This is in the run game. It's an outside zone run. Boston College is trying to get the ball to the perimeter, and the defensive end in this case is told, you've got to set the edge. Watch him work up the field. The ball is snapped right around the 13-yard line, and watch his explosion up the field reset the line of scrimmage about a yard into the backfield. What he does there is divert the ball carrier back to the teeth of the defense, and the linebackers are able to make the play. Here he is, explosive off the line. Watch the power. He gets his hands involved really well to the chest of the offensive lineman. The running back has no way to get to the outside. He's forced to cut back inside to the waiting teammates. So everybody else comes up with a stat. Dimukeji, though, made the play. There's no wondering why Victor Dimukeji was named Co-Defensive Lineman of the Week in the ACC. He's got a lot of game.
Out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Blue Devils only rush 3. They still get there. The ball's out at the 10-yard line. Victor Dimukeji with a big-time hit.
After dropping their first 2 games to Notre Dame and Boston College, Duke headed to Charlottesville to take on Virginia. Its 3rd straight game against an opponent playing its season opener. Coming up next, we'll get the highlights with head coach David Cutcliffe.
I think what we're focusing on are our standards. I think during this, again, unique 2020 season, you come back, your team, you're not sure of the conditioning level, you're not sure where you are. It's been a difficult thing. Have you hit enough? Have you done enough to meet the standards of the program? And we didn't play like that. All you can do is evaluate what you see on tape. So from my perspective, I've got to do a better job of having our team understand the standards of Duke football and to play at that level for 60 minutes.
Coca-Cola presents Quarterback Derby.
A rare international game leads off week 2 of Quarterback Derby as Duke meets Clemson in Tokyo. Dave Brown connects with Brad Breedlove for a pair of long touchdowns, and that turns out to be enough to topple Sean Renfrey despite the 77-yard bonus strike to Jamison Crowder. After missing last week with an injury, Daniel Jones now has to face eventual national champion Clemson, so a challenging start to his season. But this week, Jones' opponent Steve Sladen is sidelined versus the Tigers, so DJ is able to pull off a 6-0 win. Duke Virginia Tech provides the backdrop for the social distancing play of the week. No one is within 6 feet, 6 yards, or 6 miles of tight end Brandon King for this toss from Thaddeus Lewis. Thomas Sirk has a much narrower window for his first score.
Here comes the blitz, rolling to his left, looking, throwing it back across the middle, in traffic, caught, touchdown pass, Blue Devils. In between 2, Max McCaffrey split them.
Sirk continues to make play after play in a 4-overtime thriller with the Hokies, ultimately getting a 45-43 win in Blacksburg and a 46-29 win in Quarterback Derby. Ben Bennett also finds the end zone a couple of times against Virginia Tech, enough to claim a low-scoring 14-9 decision over Anthony Boone. And finally, Spence Fisher expertly manages Coach Fred Goldsmith's first Duke game against Maryland by getting the ball to eventual ACC Player of the Year Robert Baldwin, who posts 238 rushing yards. But that doesn't generate enough fantasy points for Fisher to overcome a 3-touchdown game by Anthony Dilweg against the Terps. Our check of the standings finds 3 quarterbacks still undefeated in Brown, Dilweg, and Sirk, while Boone, Lewis, and Sladen are still seeking their first wins. Will that happen in week 3? Well, we'll zero in on a must-see showdown at NC State. Lewis's best career performance versus Dilweg's most controversial contest. That and more next week on Quarterback Derby.
Here's Boone dropping to throw, looking, throws it up the right side.
Vintage Duke.
Underneath it, makes the catch. Jamison Crowder, 5, touchdown! Oh my goodness, what a play.
They're coming after Lewis.
Over the middle he goes. Got a man wide open. That's going to be a touchdown. They pick up the blitz and the touchdown to Connor Vernon.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible play by these two players, Connor Vernon and Thaddeus Lewis.
I remember missing Connor earlier in the game on that pass. This time, you know, with the same blitz, same everything, I missed him just a little too much. I put a little bit too much on the ball. And we had that same instance, and it was in the back of my mind. And I took a little off it, and he made a great play. I remember the cornerback, Chris Cook, tried to undercut it. We talked about that on the sideline, that they're undercutting, so put a little air up on it. And man, he made a tremendous play. And that was another big game for us against a quality opponent that we hadn't beat the year before. So I'm pretty sure they felt, you know, coming to that game that we got lucky the year before, but just to come back and beat them again the following year just shows the grit of the team that we had at the time.
2nd and 10. Bryce going to throw this time. Has time. Over the middle. Got a man wide open. And down the middle of the field, it's Jake Marweedy headed to the end zone. Jake Marweedy with a second career catch, and this one goes for 6.
Well, obviously a very difficult week again, dealing with game day. Our team obviously did some things well. A better start. You get a 10-0 lead and then you give up 17 straight. But came out of the locker room. We responded well. I thought we had a good plan offensively at halftime. It got pretty much better quickly. We're able to take a lead, and then we get to the fourth quarter and the wheels literally come off. Everybody's wondering why you're turning the ball over. You don't have to wonder. Most of these things come from two areas. One will come from pressure, quarterback pressure, or a defense getting in your face, and Virginia does a good job of applying pressure. The other ones come from decisions that, you know, are very difficult to make in 3 seconds. And that's where my job comes into play, is to help quarterbacks make decisions. Jalen Calhoun, who's not a quarterback, you know, he got put in a tough situation. We had a special play. I thought had a great opportunity to work, but he bobbled the ball. I got to coach him better. He could have thrown it away, but coulda, woulda, shoulda falls on my shoulders. So I can promise you this, these young men are fighting. Support them. They're doing everything in their power to be the very best that they can be each and every week, not just on the game field. It's difficult to practice right now and to deal with what they're dealing with daily. So take care of your teammate. That's what we're doing. We need your support, and we look forward to coming back at home against Virginia Tech.